Good morning. The office market in West Houston from a lender's perspective. Now, the West Houston office market, spanning from Katy to the Energy Corridor to Memorial in Westchase, is no longer driven by broad based demand. And from a lender's perspective, office lending in 2025 is highly selective, data driven, and sponsor focused. Now, I'd like to point out that office is not unfinanceable. However, the bar is materially higher than it was pre 2020. And in Medallion Funds, we structure office financing based on how lenders are underwriting today, not how borrowers remember it working 5 years ago. And what lenders like in West Houston office properties are these. So, despite national headlines, lenders are still active in the West Houston office market. And if the deal checks the right boxes, we should have a fit. So, let's take a look at some key lender friendly characteristics. So, strong in place occupancy, think 70 to 85% plus. We look for credit tenants or medical professional users within the tenant mix. Suburban locations with parking advantages are a bonus. And recent leasing momentum or signed LOIs could help give more confidence in the occupancy. And we have to consider a reasonable basis is not pre-peak 2019 pricing. So medical office buildings located near suburban nodes, I-10 Grand Parkway, are consistently the most financeable office assets. And what makes office deals difficult to finance? Lenders remain cautious on properties with structural challenges. So here's some of the red flags that might stand out and make it not a fit. But large blocks of vacant space with no leasing plan, commodity Class B office with short-term and not long-term tenants, and also heavy co-working exposure within the building, and also sponsors relying on aggressive future rent growth as compared to as-is performance. And floating rate debt without a clear exit strategy is something to be mindful of. And in these cases, traditional banks will often step aside, but that doesn't mean the deal is dead. Now, how office loans are being structured in 2025. Office financing today looks very different than it did in prior cycles. And here are some common structures we're seeing. Lower loan to value ratios, so 55 to 65%. Stronger DSCR requirements to support the loan itself. And potentially partial interest only with amortization kick-ins. And really, they're looking for shorter fixed rate terms for office properties right now. But they'll also want to see additional reserves for TI and leasing commissions. Now, for transitional office assets, debt funds, private credit, and hybrid bridge to perm structures are often the right solution. In sponsor strength, it matters more than ever right now. And lenders are underwriting the borrower, not just the building. And here are a few things they're going to want to see. So they're going to want to see net worth and liquidity support for the overall loan request. They would like to see prior leasing and repositioning experience if it's a transitional deal, and a credible business plan, but also with realistic exit assumptions. And strong sponsors with realistic expectations are still closing office deals, even in a cautious lending environment. And here's the opportunity. It can help reset pricing with flexible capital. Now, the silver lining for office investors in West Houston is pricing reset. This positions well capitalized buyers to acquire assets below replacement cost and reposition underutilized space, and also negotiate favorable tenant concessions. And this can also be used, we can use flexible capital to stabilize the building before refinancing. And this really is where a mortgage broker with multiple capital sources becomes critical. So here are the final thoughts from a lender's seat. The West Houston office market is not frozen, it's filtered. So deals are closing, but only when we can make these make sense. And first is the numbers need to make sense. The sponsor needs to be credible. The capital stack is structured correctly. And at Medallion Funds, our role is to match office properties with lenders who actually understand today's market and to structure financing that works in the real world. If you're evaluating an office acquisition, a refinance, or a recap in West Houston, the right conversation up front can save you months of wasted effort. And that's really much easier. So just give me a call. My website is billrapponline.com. There are several free resources as well. You can schedule a consultation there. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.